absolutely just annihilates Playmaker there. So he is going to get himself a few more resources. They do have the Porter Rift, so we're going to have to see, you know, if they end up utilizing that. But with so few players left, I don't really think they'll need to.
No, absolutely not. And if they do, it ends up being a weird situation where you're really just giving yourself the opportunity to get shot down and put back out of the game. Right now, a little bit of moment of calm as that 6th zone does get revealed. We've got 30 seconds till it starts moving, and I think 30 seconds until the action really starts to heat back up here.
Yeah, and the zone going in the complete opposite direction to where it went to from the previous one. So these players are all kind of starting to get a little bit low on resources. It's very interesting to me that there are so few players left in the game. Nobody is trying to actually farm any kind of resources that you can see with all the trees there. They're all just kind of sitting and waiting for each other to make a move. So Untamed is actually going to be the first one to make the play and go up towards high ground. His partner Siler is actually to his left there, also raining shots down. They have to know that there's players in this box here. They are taking shots at them. It is just going to be a matter of trying to figure out where exactly they are at this point.
You know, with the amount of players left in this game, I just have to wonder. Actually, as Untamed is going right on to Dodo, it's actually going to find one more player for him. Or no, it's a whole duo to find. Siler's fighting on high ground right now. Is he going to be able to find it? Yes! Mark goes down. And I gotta say, Storm Surge must have done its work there because there was nobody in that game. There was nobody at all. But regardless, a good win for Siler and Untamed. They clean up the end of that lobby. We're gonna continue moving because NA East, still, the action is ending. And there's still so many people who are, you know, fighting for that last couple of spots there.
Yeah, the queues have definitely closed at this point. They only had about 5 minutes remaining when we started casting. So, you know, we're definitely just seeing, like you said, these games where these players tend to go full send to just get as many points on the board as they possibly can. Now, these guys know they're able to update the scoreboards every so often and the leaderboards, so they know approximately where they're sitting. So going into these games, Bala, as somebody who plays quite a bit, as somebody who's observed a lot, what do you do if you're kind of a few spots out of the top of the leaderboards? What is your game plan?
I'm just trying to play it my best, and I'm trying to maximize every single game that I have. It depends on how much time, though. We talk about the style of games as it comes down to the queues. But regardless, I mean, you can also see, while you're sitting in that queue, you can go into the Compete tab. Or if you're not even playing, you can go into that Compete tab and check out where these players are on the leaderboards. You can get those updates. But right now, I'm seeing something. Vinny just took out Keys, who was playing earlier, and we know that they were high up there on the leaderboard. So that could be a very consequential elim. And we did also see that that high placement game from Vinny and Zexo just moments ago. But in this game, they are not having a good time. I mean, everybody in the server is looking to focus them.
Vinny just getting his shield completely ripped off there, opting to pop the slurp, does get the knockdown on Cascat. Now if he can get that siphon out very quickly, he's going to be fine, which he absolutely does now. Going to be healed up again to full HP, so thank goodness for that, because that was a lot of pressure on those two for a brief moment. You can see that they have a baller in there, in their little build with them, so that is going to be a little bit of an opportunity for them to use to rotate when they need to. But we can see here Posix in this lobby. We've got Vinny, we've got Zexro. We have a lot of key players again in these lobbies here.
I'm seeing on the right side of the screen, Bhags and his teammate, his duo partner, Hart, trying to make their way up. They were in 4th last we checked, but I'm also seeing Snood and Thwifo, Slacks, who was Key's duo partner that Vinny took out earlier, just moments ago in the game. And he's at 90 points right now. So the fact that Keys went down and Slacks is still up, he knows the pressure is on. He has to make this work, and he has to stay even above who he knows is in the game, because he took out his duo partner. He knows that Vinny and Zex are in here, and he knows how close they are to him.
Yeah, and if you're Slacks right now, you are certainly not feeling the best. Your duos partner is gone. You're all by yourself. You don't have the best loadout, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Slacks somehow makes it work. This is why these are professional Fortnite players. He takes out Spazzy there with a combat shotgun, is looking to make a rotation, hangs in the air just a little bit too long, so does end up taking a little bit of damage, but he does have the minis. He is going to use them here to heal up, but no, he's not. Oh my gosh.
He's in the call. Oh, yes, he drops him in. I think that might be, no, now it's Aroa, who was up high on the leaderboards earlier with his teammate N-Pen. He's going to take him out, take the mini first, and then the Siphon elimination to make sure he goes up to max. Vinny and Zexro still in the game. And I just have to wonder who is going to come out on top of this, because this is going to decide a lot. Vinny and Zexro right now quite split, though.
Yeah, quite split, which is not something that you want to be doing when you have to rotate. All it takes is one duo to enter into your builds and both just look at you and say, you know what, combat shotgun, here you go. But it doesn't matter, Zexro and Vinny are now reunited. The TSM boys making their way through these builds here, looking to rain down shots onto their opponents. Hits for 42. He does have a lot of opportunity here to take out either some players or, oh my goodness.
Going for a very risky glider redeploy there, both him and his teammate Vinny. But this is what Zexro is good at. This is why he is so good. We all know his aim is crazy. And looking right up, he sees the sky platform. They're actually going to build right all the way back up to it, get a little bit of height, because they know these players eventually have to come down off of it. And I have redeploy, but it's dropped on Vinny, starting to fight for it, not hitting the shot. I think that's going to be his cue to get right back down. And to Zexro, can he do it? Did get tagged a little bit while trying to do this. Yes, finally, boom. Oh, that's so scary as one player right in front of him as he glides down. But perfect landing there. He's going to box him right out.
This is so risky for him to keep doing this and keep redeploying in this fashion. They have 17 players remaining in this lobby, so you at any point in time have 14 people looking at you. He doesn't have any builds left, so he is going to have to use the redeploy to get down safely, but he goes down. Unfortunately, Slacks takes out Vinny, getting a little bit of revenge for his partner. You love to see it, Paula.
That is revenge in this game. Everything right now is hinging on the fact that Keys got revenge there, or got avenged there. Here, Zexro now trying to also do the same for his duo partner, and it's now top 10. So we're going into the last zone, and it's not even that final threshold of top 5 or the Victory Royale either. Obviously, Zexro now getting a little closer, opening that door so he can edit through and use that shadow bomb and continue forward and maybe get towards any more placements, but he's only on 27 mats. I think right now what he needs to do is find elimination, find an impact elimination, find some materials on one of these bodies, get the Siphon, because he is trying and playing with only 150 or 167 HP. Slacks picks up another kill, or another elimination meanwhile.
Zexro just utilizing his tactical shotgun there to the finest. He gets Sean, takes him out, gets himself back up to full HP, picks up a little bit of build, but now effectively is done.
He gets revenge!
Slacks. It was a back and forth with this duo the whole game.
And Zexro finally goes down by the hands of Hart, who did lose his dual partner. So it's a 2v1 right here as Lord takes out the last player. No, sorry, Rokane and his teammate Lord take out the last player there in Hart. And the Victory Royale there for them is going to push them to 75, but I think they still need a little bit more than that, Pookie, because we just saw Keys and Slacks versus Zexro and Vinny, that duel there back and forth, the battle ending up pushing them towards around 90 points total, both of them. So, I mean, that's kind of the threshold I'm looking at right now in terms of qualification range. That's the highest I've seen on screen yet. But we'll see. It could change in a blink of an eye.
It could change. All it takes is one game. You can pull out a 20-point game, Paula. It's been done. We've seen it been done over and over again. So you know what? I'm not discounting any of these games, any of these lobbies, until we see that final scoreboard, until we see who is actually going to New York. I know I'm going to be on the edge of my seat. I have been all day with these games.
Yeah, we have. And we saw earlier at Famhood's crazy clutch. I think the first one we saw with the chug splash, like a full-on, like run into the zone style. He actually ended up getting the ice on his feet and then using the chug splash there. But there's a player above him. I don't think this is the right play, as the zone is starting to, constrict them a little bit here. And I think he's going to be left with a flint-knock rotate, because nobody around him is using any sort of mobility. That's what you can see they're trying to do right now. Force the rifts out. Force any way that they can get in the zone, but that's not going to work out. No mobility here for anybody is going to be spent, so they're left to go on foot and with the flint-knock as well.
They don't really have anybody around them, though. Take a look. Everybody has already kind of made their way over to the zone, so they are safe. They are going to be coming up here on Slappy, though. But Slappy is not really interested in an engagement. It looks as though he's going to just stay in his box and try and heal up, slowly making their way to their zone. This doesn't look good for them at all, Bala.
No, the HP situation not looking good. Does have a med kit. He's going to start popping that. We saw Slappy briefly for a moment there. He looked like he was a solo, so maybe that's why he wasn't pushing, but I know for sure that Slappy right there, that's his signature skin. He's going to take out Sheep, but all for nothing, because when you do get eliminated, you end up not getting any credit. Even if this player, even if Sheep got eliminated fully, Slappy would not get credit for that.
And Famhood able to get the revive on Sheep. Sheep does come back up. He is back in this game, but is looking like he's only going to be sitting on 30 HP. But here we are making our way over to the other side of the map. We see TSM Command and High Sky here. I saw grenades in this lobby. We have another very stacked lobby. It's crazy to me that so many people are competing, and we time and time again just see all of these players ending up in the same lobbies together. What are the chances, really? But using the Rift here, he is going to try and maybe see if he can get a little bit of a lay of the land, see where other players... Look how many people took this Rift ball.
Yeah, that's a lot. And I'm maximize the efficiency here, but you know what? The flip side of that is they get into these stackers right now with Commandment, High Sky, Zayt, and Saf. You already listed a couple names, Pookie. This is crazy.
And here we see Zundi just falling to this duo. They already have 2 eliminations, but you know what? In these lobbies, in these final games, you're going to have to do a little bit better, and they know that. They're being very aggressive right now, just taking shots on anybody that they hear around them. We see Ghost Saf in here right now. Cryo's down at the bottom. Zayt has unfortunately been taken out of the game, so Saf is going to have to try and pull something out here. He is sitting, they are sitting on 87 points, so that could be close depending on how far Saf is able to take the rest of this game.
Maybe close to that top one. We know that Saf and Zayt are already qualified, but takes out Rux, and these Flint-Knot rotates in the end game are actually top tier. I've never seen such precise movement here with the Flint-Knot in the end game. Rux is finally going to go down, but I was going to say, gets the siphon from that, but it's all for naught because Flint-Knot right there was kind of against what we saw earlier. Not accurate and putting him way too high. And
he went way high and hung in the air there, giving his opponent the chance to be able to get a lot of damage on him. He's only sitting at 66 effective HP, but here we have Coop and Grenades. Super awesome player. He was actually at the secret skirmish. Had the chance to talk to him a little bit. Super nice. So if you guys, you know, at home are looking for people to follow, Coop and Grenades are very good. They're very approachable. They're great guys. Shouting them out right now because I love these two.
Yeah. Saw their performance at Secret Skirmish. Now here in the World Cup, seeing what they can do, where they can end up in the leaderboards, edging their way around the zone. Unfortunately, Coop is going to get kind of stuck out right now. He's really close to that other player. He could have made an edit there, but no, he's going to back up right towards Grenades. And we're into the top 10 right now.
Grenades is going to be given that big show by Coop so that he can get all of the HP they possibly can, because they're not going to have much time anymore to do any of those things. They are having to rotate now, moving into the next... It's not the next zone, it's really the last zone. It's just going to be continuously moving at this point all the way over to that small little dot that you see on the mini-map there to the west. So these players are really going to have to utilize their builds effectively, their resources effectively. We see people dropping here down. Coop takes out Grazka there with 2 shots from the combat shotgun, and then just uses the pickaxe there to just completely take him out. Gets the shot on shot again, and these flicks Balla.
But look who's on high ground again. It's Tickers by himself, and we've seen this situation time and time again today. Coop and Grenades being the only duo remaining. Daxter in a little bit of a fight here with Ziff. What is going to be the end of that situation? That one is key because that's going to signal Grenades and Coop to take low ground. It's going to be Ziff who takes the win there. And he controls low ground right now, but maybe not for long. Hold on, what just happened to Grenades? He actually got knocked out from Ziff, and Ziff completely dominates the low ground, but Tickers comes down from the high and saves the day, and saves the day for his duo because they just pushed themselves into 87 points with that Victory Royale and that 2 elimination game.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if 87 points is going to be enough. You said earlier that you think 90 points is going to be the threshold here for NA East, but I know we have Zeke standing by. Zeke, you've been watching these games with us. How are you finding them?
I think incredible is like an understatement. What's a word above incredible? Magnanimous. What's a word above magnanimous?
Astronomical.
Astronomical. My brain is working through these. What's a word above? All right, anyway.
Herculean?
Listen. No!
You can't say that
No.
word. Golden Boy is the only one who pronounces that word right.
Herculean. It's not that hard. Anyway, these matches have been just a true treat to watch, especially because you can really tell everyone is just putting it all on the line. They're giving it that all, going that extra mile, and it's just... Anyway, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna cry.
Let's hop into some of the moments that we saw in the last block that ended up deciding what was going down. So first, check the points in the bottom left-hand corner. Zexro sitting on 81. Vinny is there as well. Watch Zex go to work and look at who he does it against. First, picking up on the keys, getting his third elim. Now onto the high ground, all of a sudden separated away from Vinny, but needs to get into the top 15. Needs every point available in order to make it to New York City. One of the original favorites, the first to play aggressive, and he goes to work here with the uncommon tech. A one-man wrecking crew, slaying his way into the top 5, getting every placement point available except the victory royale, getting slacks right there, but it wouldn't end up being enough. He gets taken down, but 93 points. However, Rokane right here on the high ground has his partner left. Look what's happening on the low ground. It's a 2v1v1. Hart gets the elim onto Zexro, but then gets picked up, and that is going to end up being huge. Hart needed every single point, and more importantly, he needed every single tiebreaker in order to make it to New York City. Let's check out these standings and see where everything fell out. These are the final players moving on from NA East. Wow. It is Slacks and Keys, Zexro and Vinny, and then the young Calculator and Cole Mackwood. Now, this match right here, this is the one we just talked about. This was 89 points going through. The tiebreaker came down to victory royales. The difference, Calculator and Mackwood had four victory royales.
Wow.
To BHEG's and Hart's 3. If Hart had gotten one elim in that 2v1, if he had gotten anything more out of that situation, they would be going to New York City. Instead, Calculator and Mackwood, with one of the most dominant placement-heavy performances we have seen so far, booking their spot. And huge shout-out, Slacks and Keys. They've been up there every single week, semifinals and finals challenging. And an even bigger shout-out right now to TSM Zexro. Vinny, you're fantastic as well, but Zexro, battling through the wrist injury, not playing through a large portion, taking months off because he couldn't physically move his arm and was struggling to go through, playing Fortnite hurt, to then get on the grind and have an individual performance like that on this stage in the final week. That is clutch. That is the definition, and that is the reason they'll be going to New York City.
There you go. You know, of course, speaking of going to New York, I think we have to punch their tickets. Like, what are they? Punching the tickets. got me. All right, now, of course, we've got our first list. We got to add our competitors. Here we go. Boop. Got them. Slacks and Keys. If you want to handle this one, I'll handle this one over here.
Congratulations, Zexro and Vinny. Also, you need better synergy right there. Underscore and dot. Come on.
Wait, pretend I touched it and it came up. That's how this works. And finally, Calculator and Mackwood, congratulations. Now, of course, we've got one duo spot left. This list of names is already incredibly stacked to think there's going to be a single duo coming out of NA West.
And it all comes down to this. Like we say it all the time in terms of every interaction mattering, but now we've seen the rest of the field. All the other regions are done. Thank you so much for your 10 weeks, but now, if you're not going, you are a spectator until the trios competition on July 14th and 15th. Make sure you go find a trio. Don't try and cause any too much drama there. You know who I'm talking about. But with that being said, just make sure, I know Bala just cracked up in the back. We have one more region left. It's NA West. Right now, we're going to go take a 30-minute break. So what you need to do, go take your dog on a walk, get some dinner, get some exercise, hydrate, eat your vegetables, as Shao Wager would say. We're going to go get some food as well. We'll be back in 30 minutes.
Let's glide out to the lobby. Let's glide out to the lobby to get your squats and nums.
Burgers from dirt to munch.
Tacos royale with crunch. Red juices, a tasty treat for Lil Whip, Peely, and Pizza Pete. Let's glide out to the lobby squad tonight. Let's fly down to the lobby to get your squad some love.
誰？早く戻ってきてください。
Do you have boogie down, Raymond? Raymond.
Hello?
Do you have boogie down?
No? Hey, do you have Billy Bounce?
Nope.
Hey, do you have Billy Bounce? No. I'm gonna join creative, bye. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Zone Wars.
Hello? Hello? Can you give me a gun, cousin? Mira, jugar este. Este es chévere. It's never too late to change.
Joey?
¡Mande! No, pero tú ponte a jugar. Que te pongas a jugar, digo. Por eso. Ya, ya. Sí, ya, expúlsame. No importa, expúlsame. ¿Qué termina de empezar?
Will have the Ravens revenge. GG. 2 minutes left on the clock. The Chicken Champions, surely this is going to be a win for them. No! It's one point remaining, and the Little Whip Warriors might be able to come back into this with enough time. But there he goes. He jumps right back in, and that is going to do it. GG. Game 3 goes to the Chicken Champions.
Every single person to keep in mind. There's a ton of stuff going on here, not just Fortnite. It's just a good time all around, man. Look at him, just dancing it out. Sitting inside the control point, 6 minutes remaining, but it's not even gonna matter. That's a victory royale. Game 4 goes to the Fish Fan.
Could the Llama Record Company be our first back-to-back champion, or will it be the Fish Fam actually being back-to-back in this instance?
He has it. You see the top middle of the D.
He does it!
He got it!
Oh,
last second! The victory royale!
He's still in it. He's standing strong, and he wins out on the battle. 990, and he's continuing to gain. He's got to get to that wall, and that's going to do it. We want to know who won? We want to know who won?
The Llama Record Company.
Oh my gosh, congratulations!
Give it up one more time for the Llama Record Company! Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys on the battle bus.
Heyo Fortnite fam, Sundown here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Flintlock pistol and its impact on competitive play.
The Flintlock pistol is a great addition. Sometimes it'll just change the course of a fight.
The things you can do is insane. You can get height with it. It shoots pretty far. You can almost use it as an AR at the beginning game just to get one shot. It'll hit for like 80, 90 in the body.
And this is looking really good for Horrify, but the Flintlock is going to get the high ground. Nikiva, such a smart player.
The Flintlock is a common and uncommon weapon that uses heavy ammunition. It does 86 or 90 damage depending on rarity, and it has a 2 times headshot multiplier. This means that outside of a sniper rifle, it has the highest single shot damage potential in the game. However, the Flintlock only allows for 1 shot at a time, has pretty decent damage fall off, and also takes 3 seconds to reload. In addition to all of this, the Flintlock also has a mobility component to it. When fired, it will impulse the shooter backwards, and if the bullet strikes a target, it will impulse the target away from the shooter. This can allow for some tricky plays to be made.
Player there, runs out in the storm, jumps, finds him, yeah!
We've seen a decent amount of use out of the Flintlock during the Fortnite World Cup Online Open qualifiers. So let's hear from some of the qualified players to get their opinion on its addition to the game.
If I'm low on HP and I have to choose one weapon, it will be this one. You can actually like kill someone from 200 HP to 0 without taking any shots.
And it's also really good for competitive play because if you're high ground or if you want to get away from a situation, the Flintlock, when you use it, it knocks you some distance so you can get away or you can get high ground over someone. I think it just adds a lot of like different plays you can make with it. I think it's good.
I personally really like the Flintlock. I think it's a really good weapon. I think it's a really strong weapon in the right hands. You need to know how to use it and you need to base your whole game around it if you want to use it right.
It's just a kind of weapon we need more.
I definitely think it's one of the better things that have been added skill-wise. I like that it's so versatile. I really like it competitive. Definitely deserves a spot here.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully you saw how the Flintlock can be utilized in the right hands. What is the best Flintlock play you've done or seen? Share it with us using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup, and we'll be seeing you guys on the battle bus, or maybe Flintlocking through the air. The final duo spot will come out of NA West, and who will be able to put their name in among the best of the best out of the West. A lot of momentum is going to be with WBG's Rux and Pika, who have now both qualified for solos, and Pika had another outstanding performance in Week 9. Finally, make sure to keep your eyes peeled on FlyQuest Edgy and Liquid Scented, as they both have been absurdly close in so many circumstances. They will be gunning for the final spot and a chance to be on that stage in New York City. Who will be the last best of the West and the final duo pairing to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup final? Let's find out.
Welcome back to the final week of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open. We're getting ready to hop into our final region and find out who will claim that last spot in NA West. I'm Bala TW, and I'm going to be bringing you guys and driving you guys back in the action, starting with the schedule. So let's catch up on what we saw and where we're going right now. We're going towards NA West. We already had Oceania, Asia wrap up this morning earlier on. Then we moved into Europe. We caught the tail end of that. We then hopped into a couple of Brazil games, but then moved into NA East. We just saw the epic conclusion of that, where Vinny and Zexro and a number of other people have qualified through. And then finally, we're ending here with NA West, the final region for the Fortnite World Cup Online Open. How are these guys earning their points? Well, they are playing over the course of 3 hours, which we just saw, and trying to play a total of 10 matches. And in those matches, they are earning points by both getting placements and eliminations. Each elimination is going to be worth 1 point, but there's a total of 10 placement points up for grabs. The first threshold being that top 15, that's going to earn you 3 points. The next threshold is top 10 for a total of 5 points, and the next threshold is top 5 for a total of 7. And then, of course, the Victory Royale will earn you 3 more points for a total of 10. Now, what are these guys all playing for? Well, not only the spots, but their share of $2 million spread across all the region. Of course, NA West competing for a portion of that, but they are getting, this prize is going to all the players split throughout the region. And of course, the qualifying spots. We have one more qualifying spot. That's it. NA West. We've already seen Europe, their 4. NA East, we've seen their 3. Brazil, Asia, Oceania, we've seen each of their 1, but we've got 1 more to go, and that's NA West. But before we do that, we did just wrap up NA East in those 3 qualifying spots. So we're going to go ahead and hop in. We actually get the chance to talk to one of those qualifying duos. It's Macwood and Young Calculator, and I'm joined by Shio to do this. What's up, guys? Congratulations! You're going to New York City.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more happier for you guys. I've been following you all the way through. Macwood, you've had quite an impressive, growth throughout the entire thing. I just got to ask, it's the first thing we always ask, what is your reaction to qualifying? What was the first thing you guys did? Macwood, I'll start with you.
I mean, I called my mom and my dad. They were both on the verge of crying. I mean, it's incredible. It's like we are the two, some of the most consistent players that haven't qualified for the Fortnite World Cup, and we've been doing it for 5 days. So I hit up Calc and I was like, hey, let's give it a shot. And for the last week, and we did it. So I'm just so thankful.
Calc, I mean, he just said it, 5 days. This has got to be like, not only, I mean, it can't be a surprise. You guys know how good you are, clearly. But 5 days of practice with your duo. What happened after you qualified? What was going through your head?
I was very excited, and my mom didn't believe me. I called her and she said I'm lying. So.
Well, there
on
you go.
live stream too.
All right, Calc, Mac, come on. We know each other. Like, are you hyped or are you hyped, man? Like, we were talking for weeks.
There you go.
Every week, back to back.
I am hyped.
We've gone through, like, highs and lows. You guys have qualled, not qualled, man. Like, in the moment, that last game, what's going through your mind? Like, that very last game, boys. Like, seriously.
I mean, we queued at the perfect time. We got a decent, pretty easy lobby. We queued on one of the hot drop games, and we got to Pleasant. We actually got it unlooted, and we decided that, hey, if we don't get kills here, we are not going to qualify, because we knew we were aiming for 90 points and we got just 89, but we had those 4 wins. So I was like, in those end games, we were on high ground and we were like, hey man, we got to slay out. Like, we have to. Like, it's now or never. And then I don't know. I was just I wasn't really nervous, but I mean, it was kind of going through my head.
I was nervous at the beginning, but then as we kept going through, I stopped getting less and less nervous.
Now, Calc, you've had, like, not a rocky relationship, but you've had a very unique relationship with that Fortnite community. Do you think that there's a new level of respect for that young Calc, word out there on the streets? Like, how do you feel right now? Like, how ecstatic do you feel in terms of recognition?
I am so excited. I am so happy.
We don't need to boost his ego anymore. None of that.
Well, gentlemen, I think it is deserved slightly, a little bit of boost of that ego, because you are going to New York, so we're going to see you there. But I do want to give you guys one more chance to, shout anything out you want, and also your socials. Make sure you get those plugs in there. Calculator, we'll start with you.
Follow young_calc on Twitter.
That's it. Young_calc on Twitter. Macwood, what's up?
My Twitch is COL Macwood, and then my Twitter is @COL_Macwood.
Well, there you have it, guys. We will see you in New York, and as we always say, we'll have to grab a slice. But thank you so much, and congratulations. We'll see you there. We have NA West up on deck, guys. Thank you so much for that interview. But this is going to be the last spot up for GrabShy, and we're going to go ahead and take a sneak peek at the standings that are currently unfolding, because the action is underway. So here it is, and again, I mean, time and time again, it's always Arkham and Falconer on top, but then the rest of these guys are all fighting, because Arkham and Falconer have already qualified. And the rest of these guys as well. Landrock and Punisher, all of a sudden they're on West, but again, they've already qualified too. So the rest of these guys playing.
I have 14.